Coming up next, Solutions for Life with Dr. Gerald Coy.
Good day, America. I'm Dr. Gerald Coy, and this is Solutions for Life, brought to you by the Share Foundation, the only public, nonprofit, charitable organization in chiropractic. We're here to offer you solutions for you to have a better and healthier life. Again, brought to you by the Share Foundation. We service the Share Clinics, which offers ability to pay services. If you would like to have a free consultation, all you have to do is call area code 562-776-1727. We've been talking a lot about the American health crisis. A few years ago, I wrote a book called Solutions to the American Health Crisis. The reason I wrote it that way was because I was told that no one wanted to listen to all the complaints I had about the healthcare system. So if I didn't have some solutions, don't bother writing it. So I went back to the drawing board and took all my complaints I had in healthcare and started writing up some solutions. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You've heard me talk about the drug abuse and the incompetence in hospitals and ineptness in politicians, the greed of doctors, all the things that you are well aware of. And yet, what do we have? What is our solution? So today we're going to talk about the solutions. It comes from the fourth part of the book that I wrote, again, Solutions to the American Health Crisis. You can get the book on Amazon. But we're going to talk about solutions in a way of what is it you can do. And one of the first thing is we have to start reevaluating ourselves. I was always impressed by people who would go out and have lawsuits, health lawsuits, and try to claim millions and millions of dollars worth of compensation. I had a patient that once came in and says, how is it that someone can value their life with a $10,000 life insurance policy, but get their pinky slammed into a door, and as far as they're concerned, they're due millions of dollars? And that's true. What are our values? How do we value our health? But not only that, in valuing what we're worth, and that which is one of the solutions, is really coming at terms with a lot of different things, a lot of different issues. Too often our values get mixed up with policies that affect other people. And you have to realize that what's good for you may not always be good for somebody else. We have differing beliefs, we have differing politics. Obviously, we have different politics, but we also have different faiths in which conducts how we live our life. And so we have to be very, very careful that we're not shoving onto other people what our values are, but to live according to our own particular values. And in doing so, are you worth? Are you really worth that $1 million for squishing your pinky in the door? Or is it something you get repaired, you get fixed, and you move on? The second article that was in the solutions area talks about getting rid of the bad. Now, what do I mean by that? Getting rid of the bad means you need to get rid of that which is causing so much problems in the hospitals and in the healthcare system. We have a medical association that protects bad doctors, doesn't help us get rid of them. They protect them. Doctors who will not talk about the mistakes that their colleagues make out of, courtesy, colleague courtesy. But we have greedy attorneys. We have the drug companies that dominate our hospital cares. We have the bad doctors. All this we need to get rid of. We as a society need to say, no. You can no longer place yourself into a position of harming us anymore. One of the statements I have is the fact that over 100,000 deaths are due to doctor, hospital, and drug errors. Now, the Share Clinic is located in Downey, California. The Share Clinic is in a town of 110,000 people. Do you realize that doctors and their stupidity and the drug companies with their greed and hospitals that are incompetent and everything else, destroys the population of my city every year. So we need to get rid of these people. We need to get them out of the system. Let them go sell insurance or something else. Let them go, pick up trash. Let them do something else. Let them work at McDonald's. But get them out of healthcare. They're doing too much harm. How can we accept them and all their mistakes as if, well, this is just the cost of doing business? How can we as a society accept 100,000 deaths due to errors? Ask yourself that question. And also ask your politicians that same questions. Why are you allowing this to happen? Because one of the things that the politicians are supposed to do is add a certain level of protection. We'll get to the political solution later on. But again, back in our area of responsibility, if you damage your body by your lifestyle, if you destroy your kidneys with drugs, if you damage your heart due to your diet and overeating and overindulgence and everything else, if you smoke and damage your lungs, should you even be entitled to transplants? I'm not a great fan of transplants. I believe it's overused. I believe we've created a society that thinks, hey, let me abuse my body all I want to. There's some spare parts that I can buy. That is a very sick, and I do mean sick, concept of life. We should be taking good care of this body. It's one of a kind. It's a special. Our bodies are Rolls Royces. But there are times when babies are born with damage to their body. Most of that time is damages, they may be due to the mothers taking drugs or other toxic elements in that mother's life in the course of conceiving and giving birth to a child. Oh, remember that? That was back in the 50s, if you were old enough to remember, something that was called thalidomide, drugs that were taken by pregnant women, and the babies were born without arms and legs. That is what our pharmaceutical companies offer us. Remember, pharmaceutical companies don't make money on you being healthy. They make money on you being sick. They exploit every aspect of your life in a way that they will tell you that, oh, there's a drug that will make you healthier, make you happier, that will take away your depression, that will make you more sexual, you can have, the biggest drug, recreational drug, is Viagra. Come on, guys. Let's face up to it. Reduce the stress, lose your weight, eat better, take better care of yourself, and you might not have that dysfunction that a drug is going through to make, improve your system, supposedly. Of course, it can also cause death, but don't worry about it. But what is it we expect from our health care? I want a new liver. I want a new lungs. I want new kidneys. If you have abused your body, it shouldn't be allowed. You did the damage, pay the price. You're going to die younger because you destroyed your body. It's one we're given. Take care of it. But for those people who are either born with problems or due to trauma, accidents where something is destroyed in their body, yes, it's nice to have that marvel of technology and ability to transplant something, but only at that point. It's the same way with births. Right now, 95% of our births are in hospitals. Shouldn't be. 90% of them, or if not more, should actually be in homes, birthing facilities that are designed for proper births. You see, birthing is a natural process, but oh no, doctors have made you so afraid of it and have scared our young ladies so much that, oh, there could be complications. Oh, your child could die. Oh, you could die. And yet, by having all these births in the hospital, infant and maternal mortality in this country is still higher than many other countries, industrialized countries, and even third world countries have lower rates than we do in this country. Isn't there something wrong in what we're doing? If we have the finest health care, which is what some senators would like to have you believe, well, there's something wrong here because we don't. The statistics don't show that. The only thing we do in this country more than any other country is spend more money. It's so much so that the president saw fit to put forth and pass a law called the Affordable Health Care Law. Is it a good law? I think there's a lot of flaws in it. But at least on the opposition to that bill were senators who were saying, oh, we have the finest health care. They're lying through their eye teeth. They may think they have the finest care. They may have all that they want, but there's 51 million Americans that don't have any insurance. Our emergency rooms are filled because people don't and cannot afford doctors. Doctors are graduating with so much debt, there is no ability for them to be philanthropic. And the dominance of drugs in this country is so prevalent that doctors do nothing but write prescriptions. They've done it so much that even in that area, they're giving up their responsibility. They're passing it on to the doctor of pharmacy. They just write the prescription and they let the poor pharmacist get all the, the crap about what this drug can do to your system and whether or not you should take it. Okay, we have a caller on line 1. What do we have here?
Hello?
Hello. And who am I talking
Hello?
to?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. And yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. I was calling because I was listening into your show. And
Well, thank you.
And I totally want to agree with you when it comes to... Wait one second. I think my phone is kind of low.
We can hear you fine.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Yes? Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with you when it comes to, that you're talking about how the doctors are, prescribing all these different types of drugs.
Yes.
To people, and then especially with my family, because my family comes they like one of my brothers, he thinks there's something mentally wrong with him, and he's fine, but the doctors, I feel like they take advantage of that. Like some doctors, not all of them, they take advantage of that and they prescribe them this and that, and then it's like just in your head,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yes.
then,
So many times they just keep on prescribing.
Yeah, and then like another thing that I wanted to talk about is like my daughter, that she had this small rash, and one of her previous doctor prescribed her something without even seeing it,
Oh, dear.
and that's just like something that I guess bothers me or a lot of other people. So I definitely agree with what you're saying.
It's so sad. And the thing is many times you need to kind of look for alternatives too. Moms are, I hate to tell you, Mom, but you are responsible, for your children, and and you have to make some tough decisions. It's hard being a mom. I'm not a mom, so but I do know it's rough. But see if there's alternatives, but make sure that you be so careful with giving your children the drugs, especially drugs that aren't the doctor's not even taking a look at the rash. This happened recently to one of my relatives who was in the hospital, and he was very serious. Now he's much older, but the doctors didn't even bother coming in to take a look at his body. Didn't even know he was in a hospital, and they didn't even examine him. Didn't even examine him. And the sad thing was, the rash was being caused by the drugs they were prescribing to him.
They prescribe them, yeah.
So be very careful of the drugs you give your child. These are sweet little innocent lives. And a lot of times, some of the conditions that they have, you look at some of the good old home remedies, look at some of the ways in which just, sometimes good old soap and water or other things, or checking the toxicity of detergents that sometimes we use that may be causing some of the problems.
And unfortunately, as human beings, we didn't go to medical school. We don't know any of that stuff, so we're putting our trust in these doctors,
Yes, and unfortunately, that trust is being severely tested. And so you take good care of that little girl of yours, and I hope your brother gets well and find some better solutions out there, because there are.
Thank you. I do have a question. I don't know.
Yes.
Would you advise or suggest? I do have, what they've had. I guess stated polycystic kidney disease. So I know I do have some problems with my kidneys. I guess it's I don't know if it's how do you say it? Hereditary.
Hereditary?
Hereditary.
Yeah, hereditary, yes.
Because my mom's on dialysis. She's been on dialysis for 9 years now.
Uh-huh.
So I guess, I don't know if it's like more common on girls.
Well, you know, there are conditions that there is genetic influence on. And just like women can have certain weaknesses, you can get certain weaknesses that come down through your family, whether it be with your heart or with your kidneys or with your liver, with your lungs, whatever it might be. If you know that there is a particular weakness in your system, perhaps that is genetic, then you need to take some time to really look into see if there's some natural things that you can do to support your body. Because drugs don't support. Drugs generally inhibit, and drugs always have a lot of harm. But you would be surprised. There is a lot of nutraceuticals. When I say nutraceutical, nutritional supplementation, nutritional products that are out there that can many times be of benefit with people with a lot of even more severe conditions. And you know, if you will give our operator and everything else your name, an address, or something like this or a phone number and everything else, when I get to my office, I'll be more than happy to go over some of the things that I have found.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you very much.
I'll be more than happy to help you.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You take good care now.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll be right back.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what would make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
Before we get into some more solutions, we have another caller. Let's see what we can talk about. Hi, this is Dr. Coy and Solutions for Life. How can I help you?
Yes, I wanted to ask you a few questions about pain for arthritis. If you have any, if you know any natural way, medications, not the medications, the pills for arthritis pain. Anything natural?
Yes, there are a lot of good natural products out there that can help. There are products that are natural anti-inflammatory, because arthritis, it always amazes me about doctors. Well, many times like to throw multiple names out there that makes things sound more frightening, but arthritis really means joint inflammation. And there are some natural anti-inflammatories out there. There are some other products that help in joint lubrication, which many times can cause irritation of the joint. And then there are some other things that can boost your resistance of your body. There are several products that I'd like to discuss with you, and if you'll leave your number with our operator and everything else, I will get back to you when I get to the office, and I will specifically lay out some products that I can give you, okay?
Okay.
All right. You take
Sounds
good.
really good.
All right. You be healthier, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay. We're talking about solutions in healthcare. Yeah, and it's so great to hear from people in the audience that are looking for solutions, and they're looking for natural solutions. And that's really the healthier key. People don't realize how damaging drugs are. There's a drug that's being promoted all the time to harden your bones. And it's, for those people who are osteoporotic. This is to treat their condition. And the medication that was designed causes bones to harden. Now, there's a difference between something naturally developing the strengths of the tissue and something that just turns to rock. Because people who have taken this particular drug, called Boniva, have hardened so much that their bones become brittle and break, causing the very problem that supposedly it was to treat. So you have to be very, very careful of drugs out there, drugs that are supposed to resolve your problem. They all have side effects. Now, with the callers and everything else, I will take time, when I get back into the office tomorrow, I will be calling all these individuals to let them know what my recommendation will be for them. But what I really want everybody to do is not only take, if you want my recommendation, I'll be happy to give it to you. But any recommendation that's given to you, if you have a computer, look it up. Find out what these things are about. Everything that I recommend has no toxicity to it, has no damaging effects to it, and that's how your body should be treated. Instead of taking things like drugs, that all of them have side effects. So when we get back to solutions in healthcare, someone always thinks of the government. Now, I do believe the government has a role. We without any government, we would probably have more problems in many ways. But can the government fix healthcare? Well, I don't think they can. I think they can set up certain guidelines. I think they can give certain protective formats that would help us and should. But remember, this is the government where you'll find the congressmen are sleeping on the floor. They spend 2/3 of their time raising funds for their reelection. They're overpaid. Their retirement is unbelievable. But they can't fix the holes in the highways, and we have bridges that are falling down. They have opinion about our health care is that we have the finest when when you look at the facts, is not the case. There's an old saying, don't confuse me with the facts. My mind is made up. But I want to repeat something that I had stated in the past, and that is at least 70%. And Dr. Oz from television talks about that 80% of our chronic conditions are due to the choices we make. Well, what are those choices? Well, a large amount of those choices are in the diets that we have. Did you realize that most diabetic conditions are either caused by or can be prevented by or can be dealt with nutritionally, not with drugs? Do you realize that most cardiovascular conditions are due to the diet we have? Even a lot of the other things that we take as being serious in our life can be due to how we've taken care of ourselves in the course of our life. So we have to take better care of ourselves. And believe me, if you think the government that doesn't fix the bridges and doesn't fix the potholes is going to give you the best health care, you better rethink that thought and that belief system. Can they set up some guidelines so that perhaps the unscrupulous doctors and the pharmaceutical companies can quit lying to us? One of the first things I'd like to see as a solution is to get all the drug advertisement off the air. They are lies. They're deceiving you. They're making you feel that this is a solution, when in reality, the drugs are toxins. They're getting you to want to go in and say, doctor, give me this drug. And the doctor's going to do what? He's given up his moral rights. He's just going to fill out a prescription and say, here, okay, take this drug. But you better look on in the networks. You better look online, in the internet, and read very carefully what these drugs can cause besides the change in your symptoms. Because they can kill you. Boniva can kill you. The insulins you take can kill you. The drugs for your asthma can kill you. The drugs for your for your depression can kill you. You need to be very, very careful. And there are alternatives. There are solutions that you can take. I love the fact that our callers are asking for natural solutions, looking for it. I'm so pleased that there are people out there, and I know there's a lot more that are wanting to find a more natural solution, alternative. Not all of it can come from nutrition. A lot of it has to come from your lifestyle change. I'm thinking of people who are overweight. Hey, folks, the only reason you're overweight is because you're either consuming more than you're burning off, or you're not burning off what you're consuming. In other words, the same thing. You are responsible. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to be able to mobilize your body. I am so saddened when I see somebody that is wheelchair bound, and because they can't burn off much, they haven't changed their appetite. They haven't changed what they're eating, and here they're getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and only having half the body that's really working. And they're going to get sicker and sicker and sicker. They're going to develop the diabetes. They're going to develop the heart conditions. I want to live to be a ripe old age. I'm 70 years old now. I'd like to be 80. I'd like to be 90. Maybe I'll be on radio here talking and ranting and raving when I'm 90. I would like to think I'm able to be so. I'd like to think that my mind is clear enough, that I'm not suffering with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or some other neurological condition that develops in time and because of many times improper care and improper diet. I'd like to think that I supplement my diet if necessary. I take better care of myself. I do the things that will make me healthier. But you need to know what kind of doctors to go to. And that can be a challenge because our healthcare system is dominated by medicine. They're the ones that are setting the rules. They're the ones that are setting the government policies. They're the head of the healthcare system in the United States is the Surgeon General coming from medicine. It's like a one-party system. Now, I don't know if you're a Democrat or a Republican, but would you really want to have a political system that had only one party? You need a balance, and we don't have that balance in healthcare. We have a one-party system where medicine dominates our healthcare. They tell us what drugs to take. They tell us that our children have to be vaccinated. They tell us what you have to do to get into school and to do things and to travel and to do all the things you would like to do. They dominate the airwaves with all their recommendation of drugs that can do harm and kill you. Where are the other voices in healthcare? This is what we're trying to be on this show. We're trying to be another voice, but it needs to be louder. It needs to be broader. I was doing a radio interview this morning that was taped, and I was doing it with another doctor, a naturopath. How, do you know what a naturopath is? Most people don't. But yet they offer solutions too in healthcare services. And he's very pleased to work with chiropractors and other natural health care providers. To the point we were talking about the book, Solutions to the American Health Crisis. That's why the interview was being done. And in our conversation, we said, he asked me if there's going to be another book. And I said, yes, there's going to be another book. And it deals with one of the chapters that's in the current book called Which Doctor, Doctor? And which doctor, doctor means which doctor should I go to? See, we always think we need to go to the doctor to ask what we should do. And if you go to your medical doctor and say, should I go to a chiropractor? They'll say, hell no, he'll kill you. And if you go to your chiropractor, you may say, well, should I go to a naturopath? And he'll say, well, what's that? Doctors don't necessarily know what other doctors do. They are not so educated as you would like to think that they are. And also there is a certain amount of selfishness. Like, I'm in control, I want people to stay with me. Can you imagine going to your local Ford dealer and saying, I really like to buy a Chevy. What do you think? What is he going to tell you? Oh, no, those Chevys aren't that good. You need to buy a Ford. Well, that's the same way when you go to a medical doctor and ask him for a referral to generally other professionals. Now, that's not all of them. There are some enlightened and much wiser doctors out there. I'm impressed by Dr. Oz with his television show. He brings in information on nutrition. He brings in information on chiropractic. He is sharing with the public in a big way that there are alternatives. And you really need to get out there and listen to what he's saying, because I don't agree with everything. He has some opinions that I don't necessarily agree with, but he is sharing more information from what would be considered a medical show than I've seen in years. So you need to realize that professionals are businesses. It is a medical business. It's a pharmaceutical business. It's a hospital business. It's even a chiropractic business, a naturopathic business, a nutritional business. This is not a charity. This is not a philanthropic activity. And when we come back, we will talk about more solutions that you can do for your health.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one tequila.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
old
on.
fashioned. Never mass produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one! Number one, tequila.
We are the Three Guys Rant
With Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
You can call us at 855-69-THE3GUYS.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen, then you never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
And we're back. I'm Dr. Gerald Coy, and this is Solutions for Life. It's brought to you by the Share Foundation. One of the solutions that I've often mentioned comes about in my own profession, which is chiropractic. A lot of people don't realize the benefits of chiropractic care and versus medical care. And I believe this is a tremendous solution for a lot of people with spinal conditions and that they are not taken advantage of. And insurance companies do not realize, because of the medical domination, how chiropractic could help them save money, lower your costs, improve the health care. And it's something that needs to be demanded on you, because one of the challenges is that we have the tendency going towards HMOs. HMOs are not really insurance. HMOs are organizations that you belong to. You join a club. And that club has its rules and regulations and has its restrictions and what it will do and what it won't do. A little bit like insurance in the sense of who you can go to, who you can't go to, what treatment you can have. But it's done in an organizational situation. Health maintenance organizations, HMOs. They make the rules. And a few of them might have some services, some of them don't have services. I've been told that the major health HMO in California is Kaiser. And Kaiser is supposed to have chiropractic care, but it has to be referred in most cases to a medical doctor to refer to, and who will limit as the amount of care you will have. So is this really offering you a solution? Is this really offering you the kind of care that you want in life? I realize that PPOs are more expensive, but you have greater choices. You may have greater deductibles. You may have greater percentages. All that's been created by any healthcare costs by so much abuse. What it's going to take to change that, I don't know. Again, in the Congress and President put forth the Affordable Health Care Act. How affordable it's going to be, it may take a decade or longer before it ever really works out the situation. We have a tendency of making things change a little bit slowly. But anyway, back to medical care and chiropractic. I was on a television show one morning in which the medical doctor was claiming that chiropractic was a risk to the American public. And he shouldn't have said that, because I asked the doctor, I says, doctor, I says, what determines risk? And the risk is determined by insurance companies. And I says, doctor, how much do you pay in malpractice insurance? And at that particular time of that show, he was paying 10 times, if not 20 times, what I was paying in malpractice insurance. Which meant he was 10 to 20 times a greater risk to the American public. He never mentioned that again, which he shouldn't, because chiropractic care is safer. It is a way of finding benefit from your body, helping to align the body. And there's many different doctors, there are many different procedures that are out there. There's over 40,000 chiropractors in the United States, and there's 18 to 22 chiropractic colleges worldwide that are offering a variety of services and a variety of care to help people. The reason I mention that is because there's sometimes you can go to a chiropractor and not get results. And to them, that meant the chiropractic doesn't work. And in truth, it's just that particular chiropractor and his technique didn't work. And what you need to do is you need to see if there's another chiropractor with another procedure, another technique. It's amazing that we will go to one medical doctor, and if he doesn't come up the right solution, we'll go to another medical doctor, and if he doesn't come up the right, we'll go to another medical doctor. We'll go to medical doctor after medical doctor, but a lot of people will go to one chiropractor and say, well, it just didn't work. Well, no, maybe that procedure didn't work. And there's a lot of varieties out there, and you just need to have to ask questions. You need to interview them. You need to do a consultation with them, finding out where they're coming from and what they're offering. There needs to be limitations, though. There is no way in this technical world that we could ever offer everything to everybody. There's not enough hearts for transplants if people wanted them. There's not enough lungs. There's not enough kidneys. And there are definitely not enough prosthetics for everything to be taken care of for everybody, especially when those costs can be millions and millions of dollars in the treatment of an individual. We have a caller. Let's see what we can talk about. Yes, this is Dr. Coy. Who am I talking to?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Lucy, and I'm just calling because I want to congratulate you on your show.
Well, thank
I love
you,
it.
Lucy.
I love it because you actually, you as a doctor are saying how doctors don't really care anymore, and I love to hear that because I thought I was the only weird one here.
No. You know, I was at a meeting last night in which there was a nurse who was talking, and I looked at the nurse and I says, as far as I'm concerned, all doctors can be usually kicked out pretty easily. There's a few good ones in there, but I said who gives the best care? It's the nurses.
Yes.
These are the people that give you the compassion. These are the people that give you the understanding. These are the ones that will still hold your hands in many cases. There's some bad nurses too, but these are the ones that are really giving the care. I've seen this in my own family with people who have been injured and everything else. I am so complimentary of good nursing care, and I just would like to have all of them become doctors personally.
Yeah, I think the same way too. I think they're there for you. They actually care. Unlike doctors, they're just because they're doctors. I don't know. I love your show. I love how you emphasize how doctors don't care anymore.
Yeah, and the thing is if more people would stand up and says, doctor, I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate being talked down to. Doctor, you're not listening to me. Doctor, yeah, because one of my receptionists was talking that she went to the doctor, and her husband has a serious illness and everything else, and the doctor didn't want to listen to her. She says, "Doctor, I want to talk to you. Doctor, I want to know and he was almost offended that she had the audacity to question him.
To question him, exactly.
And what I'm telling everybody that's listening, question doctors. You have a right to do so. So I'm glad you're in agreement, because the doctors need to become aware. They need to know that they have a responsibility. You're their employer. They're just an employee. You have a right to know why, how come, what for, and not just at their pleasure. They need to wake up to that reality. I really feel doctors have lost a lot of moral standing personally. But
they even sometimes seem like they're unhuman.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And what bothers me is some of the things that are happening with HMOs. Now, understand, I don't have any problem with someone coming from a foreign country to work here, or to be employed here, or to become part of the American dream. But I see a lot of the HMOs that will go out and they can hire foreign medical doctors. Now, why is it we're not getting our young students into the colleges and getting them educated? I don't know. But they come here, they're culturally different, they don't understand the language that well, and they're expected to listen to our problems and give us guidance and advice. I find I have a lot of...
You can't even communicate with them?
You can't even communicate with them. So not only are there the doctors who speak English well and everything else who don't listen, but we have doctors now coming in who don't understand. And yet they look at the charts, they look at the tests, and they pass out a prescription. And I think there's a lot more to healthcare than that.
I totally agree with you. And from now on, you have one listener. Count with me every Wednesday.
Well, thank you so very, very much. And please tune in every Wednesday, and I hope to hear from you again.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. And we'll be back with Solutions for Life. I'm Dr. Gerald Coy.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra modern, ultra clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today. Or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
in the
on.
old-fashioned way. Never mass-produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one. Number one, tequila.
We are the Three Guys Rant
With Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69 Guys. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
And this is Dr. Coy with Solutions for Life, coming to the end of the program and everything else, and a lot more I'd like to be able to discuss. So many solutions that are out there. Some of them, you'll come up with your own. But you have to realize there is the limitations. There are people who don't take care of themselves, and yet they expect us to pay the bill for their new kidney, their new livers, their new this, whatever they want. They want everything they can get. And don't realize that somebody has to pay that bill. So the best thing is to take care of yourself. We talked about HMOs and the fact that if you want better health care, you better find somebody that's going to offer you the services you want. Unfortunately, most HMOs don't offer you the alternative and preventative care that can be best for you. You need to know what's in your insurance. You need to know what you're asking for and what can possibly be available for you, what fits your lifestyle. You need to understand that at some point we're going to have to address medical liability. The best thing we can do is get rid of all the bad doctors. When I was in Texas, I was there because of a crisis, family crisis, health crisis, and I was there for a few days, and another family member was there for a month. Not once did we see the doctor who was telling us that our loved one was going to die. By the way, we brought him out of Texas, brought him to California, and he is doing much, much better. In fact, he rolled himself out in a wheelchair out into the patio, enjoyed the sunny California weather. So that was one doctor who's probably was paid, in this case, close to $100,000, was wrong. And we never saw him. He never came around. He just collects his money. There's a lot of bad doctors out there, and we need to get rid of them. But you have to understand the education has to change too. We have to educate professionals, doctors who care, and they can't be burdened with $500,000 in debt to graduate. We're making it an elitist society. The doctors are coming out greedy, wanting to just simply make money, not take care of people, like the one caller was talking about. What happened to the compassion? What happened to the caring? Doctors have lost this, and some of it, I think, is our own fault. We've driven it out of them. We expect them to be perfect. They are not. But we need to start developing a better understanding of what is the role of a doctor. If doctors are dumb, they don't you got to get rid of them. They don't know what they're doing. If they're simply greedy, or if they're drug addicts themselves, or if they're alcoholics, get them out of the system. Get them doing something else. But, we as a public can make a difference. And I'll give you an example of making a difference. Everybody likes to complain about fast food. And there's a lot of bad fast food out there. Now, I don't recommend it as a steady diet. But, if you go to most of the fast food places, there is a choice. And the choice is salads. The choice is fresh fruit. Oh, my goodness. You think they did that because they just wanted to? No. They did it because that became a public request, a demand that we made. So the more we demand of the society that to change, the more it will change. The more you demand of your politician to clean up the mess that they've created, it will change. But there are solutions. There's a lot of solutions that are in the book also. And one of the things I have to laugh because we just talked about it, and it talks about doctors, where compassion, caring, and has been lost. And we need to put the body back together. Medicine has taken the body apart. You go to a cardiologist for the heart. You go to a pulmonologist for the lungs. You go to a rhenologist for your kidneys. Everybody became specialists. Why? Because they could make more money. And the educational system was so dramatic that a lot of these doctors are in college for 12, 14, 16 years before they're ever able to practice, with a debt of $500,000 or more. There's something wrong. And pharmaceutical companies, first thing I do is take off all the drug advertisement. These are companies that are bloodsuckers. These are companies that only deal in toxins that cause damage. And we need to get out of it. We are a drug society. We are a society is hooked on drugs. I have pictures of that in the book too, where we are telling our kids just to say no to drugs. And yet at the same time, everybody on the street is taking their aspirin for their headache, or their Valium for their mood change, or whatever other drug is out there. We've got to trim the whole concept of what attorneys are for. I believe we need good attorneys and we need to be protected, but the government needs to set up the rules also to protect us, and there needs to be a clear definition. People being paid $1 million for an honest error may not be real. We need to, especially when the attorney is the one that's making the most out of it. Insurance companies, they're going to keep charging you more and more and more. And until we realize that they're in business to make money, be careful what you ask in your insurance. I believe that the better you take care of yourself. I remember someone was talking to me about an HMO. Now, I'm not a fan of HMOs, generally speaking, but at that particular time, the person was saving over $3,000 to $4,000 a month going from HMO to general insurance. And I says, now, if you take that $4,000 savings and you get a membership at the gym, yeah, folks, you need to get out there and be active. Well, it doesn't have to be a gym, but you need to get the body physically active. And if you take that $4,000 and use it for chiropractic care, or use it for better nutrition, or use it for whatever it might be that's going to help your body be healthier, then that's a proper use of that savings. Then you have your medical services through an HMO, if that's what you want. But you can't expect the government to make these choices. These are your choices. You see, the bottom line of this whole thing is that you, the public, are responsible. As much as I like to rant and rave, which I'm on the proper station for, about bad doctors and inept politicians and greedy attorneys and drug-pushing pharmaceutical companies, as much as I love those subjects, and I do love those subjects, It boils down to who pays the price for their heirs. You see, you're the one. You're the one that is the pile of bodies that is on the cover of the book. As I'm hanging all these villains for being mass murderers, and they are mass murderers, you're the one that pays the price. See, it doesn't make any difference. If you're the one that's the victim to all this, you pay the price with your life. You pay the price with your health. And you need to be responsible for that. You need to take better care of yourself. What did I say that came from Dr. Oz? 80% of our chronic conditions are due to the choices we make. If you're, there's still 40, 50 million Americans who smoke. They're idiots. Now, I just heard in the news that CVS is not going to stop selling cigarettes and tobacco products. It's costing them about $2 billion worth of profits, worth of money, and they're giving it up. Can we prohibit it? No. But if people quit buying it, they'll quit making it. You've got to understand that this is a filthy, dirty, health-damaging thing to do. We talk about the damage that comes from illegal drugs, and yet the biggest damage comes about the pharmaceutical companies are putting on the shelves in the medicine chests you have in your bathrooms. Young people are stealing these drugs, getting high on these drugs, taking these drugs from their grandparents and their parents. Drugs that they probably shouldn't have in the first place, drugs that are causing damage. Our teenagers think the easiest way to get strong and become an athlete to make $100 million a year is by taking steroids. I want to bulk out. I want to look great because that's the image that they've been given. All the athletes that should be kicked out of the for life by taking these drugs. You know, there was a genius that lived from 1847 to 1931. He brought us illumination for sure and a lot more. The famous U.S. inventor Thomas Edison. That which our light bulb was, and all of our electricity came from the knowledge of Thomas Edison. This was a genius of a person. And even way back when, he was telling us that the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest her or his patient in the care of the human frame, in a proper diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. Thomas Edison, 1847 to 1931. And we will leave you with that today because that is where we're coming from. This is Solutions for Life. I'm Dr. Gerald Coy. Have a wonderful, healthy week.